Hi everyone, it's Armor King. Today I wanted to talk about Armor King's basic punish tools. Now that we're starting this Armor King's basics video tutorials, we're starting this off with episode 1, and that is his punish tools. The most important thing to learn about Armor King is what moves come out in how many frames and how fast they come out. So, for example, your safest moves and or your least safer moves, you have to figure out which one that your opponent has in which you can punish. That way you can still have the advantage over your opponent. So, if your opponent does a punishable move, you have to immediately, of course, punish it. So, let's get started. We're going to start with his 10 frame punishes. His 1-2, 2-1, or just his regular standing 1. So let's start with 1-2. Now 1-2 leaves you at +5 on hit and the opponent at -5. Now this doesn't grant as much advantage, but if your opponent tries to duck, you have down forward 4, which is -4, -5 on block. You have down forward 1, which is -1 on block. And also you have forward 2-1. This is to only cover those after you punish with 1-2 into giant swing. Block. Now, also you can do 2-1, which does leave you at the higher frame advantage and gives you a pretty good guarantee. Not really a guarantee, but it does make you feel a little bit more confident in using grabs as a follow-up from 2-1. Now, most opponents are going to be expecting you to do this, so they're either going to duck or break the throw. And that's where you have multiple mix-ups. That's a 2 break. That's a 1+2 break. That's a 1 break. And you can go from there. And you have 2 throws in here that are 2 breaks. So, I mean, be cautious, but don't also be that cautious. You can't also, good information here is that you can't necessarily buffer the quarter circle back throw. You have to be in neutral in order to use it. That covers mostly about what I'm going to talk about with 2-1, 1-2, and standing 1. His standing 1, why I gave it an honorable mention is because it is +8 on hit by itself, and it gives you more frame advantage than just regular 2-1, which gives you +7. This one gives you +8, so you are a pretty huge frame advantage when you do get this. So I mean, choose with what you will, punish with what you want. I'm just saying 2-1 is a higher damaging option, and just because it's 1 less frame doesn't mean you should use standing 1 over 2-1. Now we're going to talk about his 12 frame punish, which is back 1-2. Now back 1-2 leaves you at +6, and it gives you about the same situation as 2-1, but the opponent can still backdash, because if you're not more than at least +7, the only grab that you're going to be necessarily guaranteed if they don't duck it or break. Well, if they don't duck, I mean, then the most guaranteed throw that you're gonna get is giant swing, because it comes out in 10 frames and they can't back away. More or less, they can't backdash because it sucks them in like a fucking vacuum. Moving on from this, back 1-2 also leaves you at +6, so you're at a very good frame advantage. So you could go for things like down forward 2, but be careful because down forward 2 is -12 on block, I believe. Let's see that in action. Yep, it's -12 on block, so again, be very careful with how you use it. It's also minus on hits, but it is a counter hit launcher. So, again, you could also use down forward 3. It has some pretty decent pushback. It comes out in about, what, 17 frames? Yeah, 17 frames. Comes out in about 17 frames. Yeah, so that's pretty good information to have there. Let's put both of these up just so you guys can get the reference sheet. the only reason why I didn't necessarily explain before as to what the frame advantages are is because I'm already trying to say them, that his 12 frame punish is this, or that his 13 frame punish is this. It's just that it might just help to see what range as well this reaches from. And some characters, sure, some moves are going to be -10 or -12, but you also got to know that some moves push you just barely out of range to where you can't hit them. So again, it's just to tell you to be cautious with how this goes. Now, let's move on to his 13 frame punish, which is going to be his forward 1+4. Hold on. His forward 1+4. Now, there's a plethora of ways that you can use this to your advantage, but I really like to go into a wave dash mix-up. I just like to go into a wave dash mix-up, but it's mainly because it catches both get-up kicks with about 3 options, actually. Well, actually, it only catches, like, with 2 options, and that, maybe 3 options because of while standing 4 there, but it definitely does catch with wave dash and a forward 2, and depending on the character, it also has decent pushback. And if they start trying to side roll or anything like that, I mean, because they can side quick roll, it does happen to catch them. See? And it pushes them back to certain distances. Sure, you're -11 when this is blocked, but again, they're going to be pushed back away. And like I said, for distance and for knowledgeable reasons, you're going to want to know what distance or what range your move is going to be able to hit from for you to punish them. So, like, for example, Heihachi can't normally punish forward 2 because it pushes him back far enough to where 1-1-2 doesn't reach, or 1-2-2 doesn't reach either, and it's just perfect bait for them. So, like, let's say Heihachi here, I'll put him on repeat action, we're going to go back to here, yeah, and we're going to just, you see how the distance matters and how he can't punish me? And I just punished him for trying to punish me. It really does make a difference. So yeah, that pushback really does matter for Armor King there. It also matters with being able to land this move. So, like, you have to pull the trigger immediately, and you see how forward 4 also pushes back quite nicely and consistently. You can also use forward 3 because sometimes you will be granted a launcher, but you have to be careful of crouching opponents. So yeah, there's plenty of things that you can do after this. You can even wave dash into a Shining Wizard. Of course, I'm gonna be a little bit bad at. There we go. You can wave dash into a Shining Wizard. Of course, it's not going to catch low kicks. In fact, you're going to get either clean hit or counter hit for it. So again, guys, be very careful with what you do. Now, next is going to be his 14 frame punish. And I have to put a little disclaimer here. He can start launch punishing at 14 frames if your execution is godlike enough. Of course, mine is a little bit, you know, salty. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's pretty good. And you can get about 100 damage from it if you so choose, but it is a little difficult to do. Depending on where you're at, you're going to get at least 99 damage or 100 damage out of that. So there you guys go. That's a perfect example of getting Dark Upper out of 14 frames. Also, his easier 14 frame punish. Now, his easier 14 frame punish. Also, his easier 14 frame punish is down back 2-4, and it does also wall splat, and it can get you quite a few things. Not only can it get you quite a few things, well, as I can say, it gets you quite a few things. It gets you a lot of damage, and can even get you the down back 1+2 mix-up at the wall, which is very nice. And you just pick them back up. Now you could either do down 3+4 or wait for your opponent to do something, but I prefer to do down 3+4 right after. Yep, and that's all guaranteed right there, giving you about 97 damage. Now let's talk about his launch punishes. Now normally, of course, you can always launch punish with Dark Upper and get like an insane amount of damage, go into maybe something like a Burning Knuckle combo. Now, you can get a Dark Upper out of this launch, just as per normal, and it gets you about 80 damage, maybe more than that, depending on where you are. You can get about maybe 100 damage if you want. Now, also, there's a lot more than just Dark Upper to talk about. We have the Easy Mode Launcher, which is his up forward 4. Or we could also go with forward 2-1, which it's pretty standard. It's not a launch punish, but it's not a launch punisher, it's more of a get the fuck away from me tool. You can also use this as one of your go-to whiff punishes. So guys, bear that in mind. You guys can also use back 3, which grants you more damage than forward 2-1. In fact, I think that's what the creator's intention was, or at least I think that's what the intention was for them after. You just do this, and then you can't get the free down 3+4 anymore, but you can also get you can get back 3 and just get a forward 1+4 in the end anyway. Sorry about the augmented resets there, but sometimes I do have my select button tied to my controller, and it's just odd how that works. Because it just likes its sticky buttons, I need a new pad. But you can also go into back back 4 into 1+2, and you can get a plethora of mix-ups there, depending on what your opponent believes. So you can do this, and then go with forward 4, because then, I mean, any get-up kick they're going to try to use, I think, the only thing that might be able to beat it is a recovery kick, so let's test this out. If it can't beat it, yep, that's the only one so far that's been able to beat it. I wonder if you can pick back up with back 4. Nope, doesn't look like you can. In fact, I believe... yep, look at that. So, unless you're going for... like, so far, the only kick that ever beats forward 4 in this situation is recovery kick, the toe kick. But, bar none, like, this is hard to beat in this situation. Because then you just get free stuff. After you punish 1-1-2, which is -17. And you just go from there. Or you can also just do forward 2, and I believe it actually does hit them. So let's try that out. No, it doesn't hit them. Maybe forward 2-1 would like to oblige. Yep, forward 2-1 you could also do if they try to do a toe kick. I mean, there's a range of options that you could do. You could also do up forward 4, and it'll completely whiff. And up forward 4 should also hit low kick. Nope, it'll whiff as well, but what won't whiff is mid kick. So let's check that out. Yep, that'll hit you in midair. So up forward 4 is probably not a good option, so you could probably opt for maybe up forward 3. You might get a counter hit. Oh, it'll completely whiff. What about low kick? Hey, that's actually not a bad option. But so far, that's just against low kick, and mid kick is the faster option. So we'll see how this plays. We'll see how this plays out. Oh wow, completely in our favor. So you could always use up forward 3, which is very nice because I've been actually looking for ways to set this move up. Yeah, wow, that seems pretty good for the wake-up situation here. Because then they can't do necessarily anything except just sit there and wait for you to do something. So, that's really good information. Yep. Wow, a lot of damage from that. Yeah, that's a lot of tools that Armor King can use in order to benefit his advantage against you. And I believe we can talk about at least one more thing. Now we're going to talk about Armor King's While Standing punish. And we know that his punish isn't really well known. However, we do have a couple of good punishes for this character. We have While Standing 4 right here, which does about 20 damage and comes out in 11 frames. Or we have While Standing 2, which doesn't do as much damage, but it is a counter hit launcher, and it comes out in 12 frames. However, at 16 frames, and yes, I know that sounds like a lot of frames to be dragged behind, but bear with me here. At 16 frames, we have Armor King's While Standing 1. Or we also have his hop kick. Now, there's a few tools that he can use here, and his big one is his up forward neutral 4, his universal hop kick, which does so much damage. Like 105 damage. That is amazing. And that's just from his While Standing punish. Now, again, it takes about 20 frames or more for you to get that, or 23. Perfect frame advantage, exactly. It's literally the perfect frame advantage against Hellsweep. So, you guys can either use that, or you can crouch cancel into Dark Upper. So, that's just some of the few options that you have. I mean, you have quite a few options, but being able to just crouch cancel into Dark Upper is kind of silly in my opinion. So, you guys do whatever you want with While Standing punish, but I highly recommend each punish is according. You find out which one, when you block, gives off a certain stun. You can only punish that in 10 frames. So you have to know that you have to punish that within 10 frames. So you do have a dick jab, and your dick jab has an extension down 1-4. And it is not a natural combo, but it comes out in counter hit. And it leaves you at about +5? No, it leaves you at +6, even better than I thought, but it does push the opponent a little bit further away, so you can't really go for anything that's grab-like, but you can go for counter hits if you want. Alright guys, this has been Armor King on the subject of punishment tools. What do you guys think exactly of this basic tutorial? Do you believe that people who are just getting into Armor King will find this fun or actually very interactive? Hit me up. I'll leave a Discord link for you guys to come and ask me questions anytime, anywhere. I'll be open freely most of my time. So thank you guys again for watching this video. I appreciate every single one of you, and have a great day.